Welcome back to our Greatest Fights Ever series as we move on to the 1930s, a time when war was imminent in Europe.
With the prosperity and fast living of the roaring 20s now gone, America began the 1930s firmly in the clutches of the Great Depression. As poverty and unemployment rose, breadlines grew in number. The dance marathon became popular and served as an escape during these troubled times. Hollywood's dance king, Fred Astaire, teamed with Ginger Rogers for the first time, bringing back a sense of glamour to the fashion world. In 1936, Berlin hosted an Olympic Games dominated by Jesse Owens, clearly defying Hitler's theory of Aryan supremacy. 1 year later, the Hindenburg dirigible that had flown over the same Olympic stadium burned in New Jersey. In Germany, Hitler continued to preach his doctrine of Aryan superiority and sent his Superman, Max Schmeling, to fight the American hero, Joe Louis.
Louis had suffered his only defeat at the hands of the former champion, Max Schmeling. Now Louis was the champion of the world, but with national pride at stake, he harbored a fierce desire to avenge the only loss on his record.
Max laying around him. Joe Louis lets pick with two straight lefts to the chin. Both of them light, but as the men clinch, Joe Louis tries to get over two hard lefts, and Max ties him up in the breakaway clean. On the far side of the ring now, Max with his back to the rope, and Louis hooks a left to Max's head quickly, and shoots over a hard right to Max's head. Louis, a left to Max's jaw, a right to his head. Max shoots a hard right to Louis. Louis with the old 1-2. The first the left and then the right. He's landed more blows in this one round than he landed in any 5 rounds of the other fight. And there, Max Schmeling caught him with his guard down and tossed that right hand to Louis's jaw. But Louis was going away with the punch at the time. Now Max is backing away against the ropes. Louis is following him and watching for that chance. He is crowding Schmeling. Schmeling is not sitting around very much, but his face is already marked. And they stepped into a fast clinch and at close range. Louis fights desperately to bring up a left to the jaw and a right to the body. And coming out of that clinch, he got over a hard right and then stabbed Max with a good straight left jab, and Max backed away and missed the right. Louis then cracked him with two straight lefts to the face and brought over that hard right to the head, high on the temple, and Max tied him up in a clinch and broke ground. Is back against the ropes again there, not too close to the ropes. Louis out, and Louis missed with a left swing, but in close, brought up a hard right overcut, and a right to the jaw, and again a right to the body, a left hook, a right to the head, a left to the head, a right. Schmeling is going down. But he held to his feet, held to the rope, looked to his corner in helplessness, and Schmeling is down. Schmeling is down. The count is 4. And he's up, and Louis, right and left to the head, a left to the jaw, a right to the head, and Donovan is watching carefully. Louis measured him, right to the body, a left hook to the jaw, and Schmeling is down. The count is 5, 6, 7, 8. The men are in the ring. The fight is over on a technical knockout. Max Schmeling is beaten in 1 round.
Now, in this fight, in boxing years ago, before this, the referee could watch somebody throw a towel in. You could throw in a towel into the fights in those days. The rule was changed, fortunately. If you notice that picture, Arthur Donovan, the referee in this fight, at one point walks by and throws something out of the ring. The German's corner had thrown in the towel, and the referee would not allow it.
Joe Louis had that in his craw about Schmeling beating him the first time. Man, he wanted it bad. And just vendetta, call it what you will. He wanted to hunt Schmeling.
Can that sometimes hurt a fighter, though? In this case, he was able to channel it in the right direction.
I don't think so. The word we use in boxing is don't get mad at anybody. A vendetta to erase that loss he felt he shouldn't have got himself hit in the chin that much that night. As you saw in the second fight, he didn't get nailed with that shot no more.
All right, let's move on now to the 40s. Again, Joe Louis. This time, Louis and Billy Conn.